Maybe I just had too much crap running. That's no bueno.
Yeah, getting
All right.
getting BSD'd when you don't necessarily have an equipment budget. Graphics cards can be pricey.
All right, let's loaf about for a minute or two and see if. Oh my god, this
Camera
is
reversed. I think that's a function of who was in the call first. Do you want me to? If I drop and come back, that might
I don't know if
reverse it.
I'm not sure that camera reversed is what you think it means. I'm mirrored.
Ah,
Interesting. I wonder if the camera's the culprit. Anyway, that is weird.
where were we?
Oh, I'm in the call. That's why.
Oh, I was about to say I see. I don't normally see your face in the call.
What's this? All right.
All right, cool. So where were we?
Oh, that's a good
I kept
question.
rambling for a minute at least after you probably disconnected. I think I was trying to move into talking about the non-refactor stuff because we'll go a little bit deeper into sort of what I think I need to do and in explaining it to y'all and getting second set of eyes on it will make it more solid. But before we do that, let's just kind of
I'm
scan the upcoming stuff for Prio.
all right. I'm gonna try to reset my camera. Deactivate, activate. There I am. Oh my god. Never a dull moment. Hit F11 real quick. I'll do the same. Give us some.
Oh, I'm F11.
All right. Real estate. There I am. Now I'm in the right place. Thanks, Badger.
Sweet.
It's like
Sweet. Me6 says we're live, so we're live.
nine out of 10 people that show up to this stream produce it for us while we're live. Like Badger,
We're all in this
Moth,
together.
Joe's just like, oh, by the way, thanks.
Yeah. No, this is an environment where feedback is appreciated. That's for sure.
I think I might have just been running too many things. I don't know. Blue screen is scary. So anyway,
Yeah. So let's put the whole refactor on the back burner for a second. Just look at what else is coming up here. Make sure it's still what we think we need to do. Yeah, we refactored the stream. These are all kind of like just more parts of the tutorial script, prompting the player to do stuff. I guess this is not necessarily tutorial script. This is just an important UI improvement. I'm actually going to move that down here. Prompt the player to read and sign the docs, highlight checkboxes, pop up a final send off, highlight the signature box, exit the tutorial. Yeah, this is not actually tutorial work. This is view work because that'll just be useful to have everywhere in the game. Okay, so all right, let's pretend that I've done all the like remaining tutorial work. Among these P0s, is anything here not a P0 anymore? Is there an order to these things that would be more effective than another?
I think that the most important things to discuss here are the things that are like ones and twos.
Okay.
So we had friend actually through my buddy Chris play the game, and like they were like one of their suggestions too was like, hey, can like you know middle mouse button drag, does this work? But like they weren't stopped by anything. So I sort of feel like tutorializing WASD zoom middle mouse drag on day zero can like not be a thing.
Okay.
I think we want to end up handling that in chat anyway. So I am fine with actually punting that out till not day zero.
Wow, all the way to not day zero. Okay. What if it wasn't a 2 and a 4?
That would not change my opinion of it. It's just that you
Okay.
should always start with the ones that are that and make a tough call on them. But you make a very good point. Like, oh, what if
So,
it is here?
yeah, I just noticed it because I was like, that actually kind of feels a little heavy to me.
It is a little heavy.
Why? Yeah. And in the past, you've been like, is it really that long? And I go, yeah,
It
it does run.
is. Well, so it you do if you're going to put it in the tutorial, you have to check that the person did it.
Which is a well-worn path for me so far. Like
It is. It
I
is.
don't have any questions about how I would accomplish that. Like we just use the event subscription
And
pattern.
and my point isn't that like, oh my god, can we handle it? It's just
That
like
breaks.
I don't think that this thing.
Sorry, distracted by broken corn list.
I,
Okay.
this
Yeah.
thing
All
can
right.
early access day zero without that.
This is
Um,
another choice made out of extreme parsimony.
parsimony, parsimony.
Show the number of free slots in the van. We want disallowed location ID property. You this comes up often when I do things like put the well in the van.
I think we can skip on showing the number of free slots in the van.
Really?
I think that feels really good. I don't think it is necessary for day zero. I think that is the kind. So here's the uh, rubric crucible um, against which I'm looking at this. Out of the feedback that we've gotten, has this like genuinely hindered someone from getting in and playing the game?
No, but it does. Here, yeah, okay. I think I can get on board with what you're saying.
Like that's
What
the knife.
genuinely hinders playing the game is forgetting to bring the magnet with you.
Yes, and
And we
going
don't
like
actually have a solution for that among the P0s, right?
uh yeah, and like the magnet's a tough case. I'll grant you that. Magnet's a tough case. Um, anyone who's played the game for a couple days, not like 48 hours of gameplay, but has like dropped in a couple times, goes like, oh, maybe this would be good to see, and I agree with that. And I still think it's a P0 someday, but I don't think it hinders a release.
If I forget to put the magnet in the van, oh no, there's a tutorial step for it.
There is a step for it now.
All right. There is
So,
no way to get the magnet outside the tutorial still. Right?
all right. So one of my immediate tasks is fixing up the so the butter, cheese, semolina, bread, flatbread, making those now require the first chivo to unlock so it doesn't get messy in the tutorial. Um, and I've got the tutorial workbench, which I think I can get rid of, but I'm just going to make the magnet broadly available for a brutal cost.
Okay. For a brutal cost. So hostile. How about what kind of cost are we thinking?
I don't know, maybe $100.
Okay. I don't hate that. Sounds great.
So there's so Badger's like, it's so great because like Badgers are peeing into the game, which I think is fantastic right now. If no magic magnet, message from Badger with tutorial code, force them to redo it. That is it.
I actually wish that would work. It sadly doesn't.
I think that will end up happening one day. But my point here is that if I plop into a new yard without the magnet, then and I'll have to do a hard override on the shop. That's fine. It won't be by percentage of actual value. It'll stay value 0. But you basically go and you go, all right, I'm gonna make $100 real quick. And go get it. That to me is fine. That's not a big deal for someone to like. All right, it does diminish the lore around it if you could buy it at the Home Depot, but it's a pivotal
I
thing.
think it makes sense
And
to buy magnets at the hardware store.
yeah, and we have
That's where I would go.
ideas for more hand tools, so like it'll fit in that way.
Yeah, maybe there's like maybe someday there's like, you know, a more boutique hardware store.
That's true, and someone could
And
drop
that would be
80 brillion points.
a great way to
that way.
differentiate between, you know, Stan's hardware store versus the big corpo.
But
store.
to that point, what Badger can do, if you check that first box and don't have the magnet in it, someday when we get the chat system up, is they could be like, brave move leaving without the magnet, and like have that show up as a text.
Well, here's another alternative along those lines. Instead of making this a not days, oh no, not that one. Where'd it go? Instead of making this one not day zero, show the number of magnets in the van.
Please zoom in.
Show the instead of showing the free slots, show how many magnets are in your van.
That's some hacky shit. I love it. I laugh
You're right.
at
You're
it.
right that it is hacky shit.
So,
all right. So okay. So we're pulling this out.
We want people to very much put stuff in the van physically themselves, and I respect the fact that like it sucks when you don't. But I need you to wipe front then back when you use the potty. I need you to do that. Like,
and if it takes an infection to learn that lesson, that's life, kiddo.
Like,
all right, sure, yeah. Where are we at now? Okay, Ray for the next O.
Yeah, disallowed location ID. That we have to do.
Okay. When I unlock a location feature, the newly acquired space needs to be available.
Did you already do that? Did you already do disallowed location ID?
Well, I did some of it, but I didn't do it all.
All right.
I realized it would break a bunch of things and make you do.
Oh, that's right.
It would once I connect the wires, you will have to do a bunch of work. So we have to plan when that happens.
I think that you should do that right after the refactor.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yoink.
That way it'll be a build in our hands. Because you do the refactor, you'll do this thing. I will go in and hand update all that stuff, but it won't be at the tail end of like, now push the early access button. Thanks a bunch for breaking the game, Z. Yeah, it is beautifully color-coded, isn't it, Auditor? Good to see you.
When I unlock a location feature, the newly acquired space needs to be available for those reward items. I personally need to do this because this is another like change that I don't want to go in right before we push the button.
This is a 2-2 that desperately belongs there for day zero.
Yeah. Make the Discord button more inviting. This is not very costly, and I think potentially important for building the community. So during the tutorial, if the highlight items, okay, actually, this is the one I wanted to bring up again. We talked a little bit about how if the tutorial yard did not have so much stuff that you will never unlock, you don't need to do this.
Yeah, that's not happening. You should.
That's probably not happening ever, right?
No, I don't. I certainly wouldn't say ever.
Never say never.
Well, so for good reason. One, we can change the tutorial yard because the person never goes back to it.
Sure.
Yeah. So this like falls under our sort of principle of like, hey, if it's a level change that you have to go into to XYZ. So I would not say never on that. But I don't think it's a day zero thing. And to Badger's statement, I don't like taking control of the camera if I don't have to, but we were talking about it being pretty hands off.
It would be pretty hands off.
If you interrupted it with input, it would just stop. Be like, yeah,
it's just to make sure that you're not at a step that's trying to call your attention to a thing that isn't on screen.
If we run into a problem with this, I will change. I will change the string to say, go find the magnet on your property that is highlighted.
Right. Fair enough. Sometimes talking about this stuff takes more time than than I would to implement it. Moving the camera when we get to a tutorial step is not that expensive. But anyways, when I unlock a location feature, the newly acquired space needs to be available for those reward items. Oh, we just talked about this. Sorry.
Yep.
Make the Discord button more inviting. We just talked about that. List is empty. I love this one. I'll get to it.
Yep.
I think you're still on this on the you must do this opinion. And then need a tutorial step that has you use the magnet. Oh, this should probably happen while I'm in tutorial land.
Can you zoom back in?
Oh, sorry. I keep doing that as I drag things around. Yeah, need a tutorial step that has you use the magnet. This came from the realization as I was going through it myself that you are expected to pack up the magnet and bring it along with you, but you don't really know why.
Yep.
And in the course of the tutorial, the last thing you do is the magnet. So there isn't even any time to experiment with it before it's going to go, hey, press these other buttons now.
I think a very good segue is, great job, you unlock the magnet. Here's how it works. Play around with it.
Yeah.
Go pack up your van, get out of here, kid.
Right, yeah, you use the magnet to pack up your van.
Yep.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. So that can happen kind of as I get back into some of the tutorial steps. All right, let's look at the P1s. Oh, this sentence is bad.
No, it isn't.
Blacklisting items at locations in the via the items table.
In the road, the items table.
I think this is actually a dupe.
It is a dupe
of this.
Yep.
Done.
It's written perfectly well.
Tutorial highlight should look different than the hover highlight.
It's not day 0.
I agree.
Yes.
When my cruft tally increases, it counts up to the new value in an animated way.
It's not day 0. Watch me get merciless right now.
Yeah, you are getting merciless right now.
Yeah.
This is a lot of like, I mean, it's polished stuff that I think is important, but it's.
What if we did that polished stuff the day after? Like, we gotta get things moving.
Yeah, I do want to reiterate my general opinion that early access is a type of release. So having a good feeling game will matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer folks that we have captured by other means to come along for the ride. Log the unlocked achievements at level start. Oh, I need this.
I believe we need to do that.
This is not.
Unit
our lives
tests,
will be harder if we don't do that.
Yeah.
Unit test our lives will be harder if we don't do that.
Now I want to point out this is a 3.6 and desperately needs to be in there. So it's not all about picking the things that are spicy and killing them. It's literally about like the line item and where does it need to be. I gladly spend those 6 hours of your time making that go because it's important.
Deed numbers are supposed to be colored based on whether you can afford them.
I think that's
my argument for this was mostly based on the fact that this is a bug that alarms me that I'm not fixing it. But we could technically go without this.
Badger wonders, what sort of length on the animation are you thinking? I've seen those numbers go up and down quite fast. So the point here is that when you gain or lose stuff that is in those numbers at the top UI of the screen, they like, especially when you do something like the garbage can, you're like, hey, like remove 150 cruft. It generally goes either in 1 frame or 2, like, and I'm there. And all we want to do is put like a little bit of a rolling number for that.
Yeah, just these.
Yeah.
These numbers.
Just these.
It
draws attention because the screen's now moving, so like
Yeah.
It just piques your eye over a bit. We'll probably cap the time on it. Like, we'll probably want it to lerp within 1 second. Or a half second, or whatever. But it gives you the opportunity to make the number kind of go whoop, whoop, and cycle up or cycle down. And so, you know, for people not paying attention to how much cruft they have in total, if you've got a trash can, it just like guides your eye over there a little bit more. Deeds.
Yeah,
If you're one of those people who never spends them,
it's kind of like a pickpocket art. Like, we want to control the player's attention the right amount. I don't want it to be like loud and in your face whenever these numbers change, but being more than completely stealthy will help people understand how the game works and what actions resulted in what happening.
it is a bit of sleight of hand. In
Yeah.
fact, there are several people who, like Penn Jillette of Penn and Teller, is big friends with is it Randy Pitchford, who's from Gearbox, who also is an amateur magician, but runs Gearbox.
Sleight of hand is so cool.
And there's a lot of crossover in between. Like, what am I doing? Well, if I'm doing sleight of hand, I'm like drawing your attention this way and that, so you think, you know, this is happening when that is happening. All right, what are you know, Z and Will doing? We're lighting up colored light bulbs on a screen that make you think you are moving things on a yard. It's not all that different.
Yeah. How does it interact when the number target change as you're doing the animation? It would have to be able to cope with that. It would have to be interruptible. And it probably won't be like an animation in the classic sense. Like in Unity, you can go and like you open up a timeline thing and you put keyframes down. That wouldn't be flexible enough. It would be a pretty code-driven thing. It would be running in a little sort of its own pseudo thread. And
it works exactly like dragging stuff with the magnet does, where by exactly, I mean, you'd lerp. You basically say the number on screen right now.
You know, it's not lerp.
Oh, well, is it slurp?
No.
It would drift.
Yes.
Why wouldn't it be lerp?
Linear interpolation has a start point and an end point, and it blends between the two values, whereas PD controller is more of a continuous control system.
Right. And what I'm saying to this point,
you just aggroed my.
I know. But
sorry.
But my retort is that it does not have an actual. It is a continuous state. You go, how does it interact with the number changes? Is that it presently says 1,000, and my interactions could change that to 1,200, and while it's moving, could change it to 1,100, and while it's still moving, could change it to 2,000, and it will track towards that number. Basically, it's where am I on the screen right now, and I think it needs to do so in a way that accommodates the distance so that it doesn't spend forever getting there.
Yep.
So is it like when you drag stuff with the magnet?
It is like when you drag stuff with the magnet, but it's not like when you lerp.
It's not like when you lerp. Okay, sweet.
That's all. I'll let it go from there. Sorry.
Well, no, this is about making sure that we should understand the terms we use. And now I have a better understanding of the PD control. That it really isn't that. It matters.
It could also confuse if you have enough. Or
it's fast.
Much of something.
It's fast. It needs to be fast.
Yeah, it does need to be fast, and it can't like take 20 minutes if you just spent 20,000 cash money. So, yeah, we have the tools. Okay, did we bless or decline the deed numbers bug?
Blessed.
Magnet Chivo shows up in Chivo's. Oh, this is just a bug with the Chivo system. This also might be related to a different bug you noticed about. You started your new yard and it didn't unlock the proper characters, right?
Not related. That was my dumbass. I wasn't hooked up to Steam the right way.
Else. Okay, I got crossed up.
We're up in an ad, by the way.
Oh, it's ad time. Fun.
I need to get. I think there's a thing that will tell me when there's an ad coming. I just think I don't have that little thing in my little producer window. No. I think we've got like 90 seconds to just blurk. Stream manager. How do I add a thing? Edit layout. How do I add a thing to my layout?
It's like another World of Warcraft-esque problem is modding your own UI to suit your liking.
Navigation. Oh my god. Activity feed. Oh, can I do a down arrow on mod actions, active mod ads manager? Now you've set up your schedule. Take a look at how you can monitor and control your. I don't want to. No thanks.
We're probably back.
Yeah, it said. Oh, running a 1 minute 30-second ad manually will remove the upcoming auto ad.
Okay.
Sweet. All right.
Is that mouse click I heard over the internet you clicking that button?
I'm working on it.
Okay. Do you want to time it for 3:30? That'll sort of be our halfway point, and I'll go refill my cup.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right. We'll try to do an on-purpose ad at 3:30. We're getting used to it.
How do I get it to be an I can grab a. So one, I can grab.
I'm glad that my job is refactoring code and not like puppet mastering Twitch. So, likewise, I'm glad that it is your problem,
yeah,
not mine.
I now have a snooze ads button and a 3-minute ad button. When we refill stuff, we'll do that. So, all right, we have more control. We have the technology.
Yeah, so I was asking if if this particular line item might have been a bug as the result of something else, because this is another thing that I didn't expect the system would do. So either way, we should fix this.
Mm-hmm.
It might be indicative of our problem with achievement tracking, and maybe I want to do this sooner. The longer I wait on that, the more possible fallout there is.
Will doesn't
talking about
Will doesn't have a boss.
My boss. I am my own boss.
Yeah, we're 50-50.
So there is. I mean, there is
funny
a mutual
for
respect,
us to refer.
And I know where I'm at in terms of design stuff. Like, Z's a stronger designer than me, so I'm gonna I know my place there. That doesn't mean he's my boss.
I am not your engineering boss, and I'm definitely not your. Do you show up to work, boss?
Right.
Likewise, we just have bailiwicks. We have positions on a ship, but neither of us is the boss.
Let's make the enter level code text box more subtle and use command prompt symbols. I can see how this is not strictly necessary, but I believe the text box as it exists today is distracting and would get in the way of someone smoothly getting through the flow.
I agree.
It can stay where it is. Background and highlight is off by half a unit. We have talked about how this is just kind of maddening in a dumb way.
Yeah, it looks jank.
I would categorize this in the same box as list is empty. This, yeah, it just doesn't show well if we're trying to convince people that we know what we're doing. So yeah. we should fix that. P2s, ready for P2s?
I don't even want to touch P2s right now.
Take that, P2s. All right, we're done then.
Sweet.
we're done with this.
Yeah, we're done with this.
Boop, take that away. I need a different page now. Actually, do you want to hit the add button now while I flip flops?
We've run so many ads.
We're just an ad-driven business now, aren't we?
Just we'll get like 30 cents over the next 6 months for these ads.
All right. I'll just pull it. I'll just pull it up. We won't do it. I'll stick to the 3:30 plan. Stick to the plan.
Yeah, I'm basically holding my water till 3:30.
Okay.
In a very real sense.
All right. So we talked a little bit about how I'm planning to refactor some stuff, and it's about the phone not giving me the capabilities I need. And that's usually how you know when to refactor. Like we actually talked a lot about the role of refactoring when you're developing software, and so I won't get too much into that. And now this is a diagram, and I love making diagrams, but I want to call out that in most cases, these are for me and me alone. I don't work with other engineers, so I don't need to like transfer an architecture from my brain to someone else. It's entirely to get my own ducks in order, because when Z goes, well, do you know what that refactor is going to entail, or how long do you think it's going to take? This is how I get to the point where I can say, like, yeah, I know what I'm doing.
And I, being a morbidly curious person, often go like, can you just walk me through this? Like, there's no space for me to approve or disapprove of it. It's like, to get a sense, I just like to feel comfortable, like, when I'm positing something that like touches this area, I'm not totally shooting from the hip and like waving my hand around saying stuff. And so like even the like model controller view method, like we spent like a decent amount of time of Will just like explaining the mechanics of what that even means, so that like I
definitely helps when we have a shared vocabulary. It also helps, much like the process of making this diagram forces me to look at the problem from sort of a different perspective. Explaining it to Z also forces me to kind of look at it from yet another angle, and that clarifies, like, I'm probably going to find problems with what I've sketched out here in the process of trying to explain it. Like, people talk about the rubber duck effect, or like it's a joke that, you know, if you have a problem while you're coding, explain your problem to a rubber duck, and
a little tiny kitty.
You'll figure out the solution. That's because explaining something forces you to kind of like switch your perspective on it. You have to consider what your audience knows, and just that shift of perspective activates some pretty powerful problem solving skill.
Activates your trap card.
It activates your problem brain. It gives you a new perspective. So without any more preamble, I guess I'll just get into trying to explain what I have here. Before making any changes, the phone view was kind of haphazardly built with different UI. They're called UI documents that were kind of handed to this bit of code, and it would instantiate them when you click the button, and that would put them in different hierarchies. So everything in the UI system is sort of got a parent or a child that it's related to. You know, if a button is inside a box, then that button is a child of the box that it's contained by. So the way you find objects within that hierarchy is by searching them. But if my problem was that I was searching for something that wasn't in the hierarchy that I was querying. So the other problem generally is that I have some pretty specific functions that I want to be able to do on any screen inside the phone. And I don't want all of the systems that need those functions to have to understand the difference between a shop in the level picker and the signature screen in the Chivo app. Those are all different implementations of a phone screen, and needing to care about those details in all the other systems is bad. It's an anti-pattern because now those systems are coupled. If I change the way the Chivo app works internally, all the other places that talk about that, you know, that invoke something on the Chivo app, like highlighting it or sending a message there, would also have to change. So I'm actually making my job harder because now to make one change to the Chivo app, I also have to change every system that touches it. So the solution that I think I'm gonna try here is putting these components behind some interfaces. And if you're not much of a coder, I'll try to like explain what an interface is. It's related to inheritance and object-oriented programming, but it's more about specific capabilities between classes that don't have that is a relationship. So like, if you're learning coding stuff, you get a lot of examples like, employee is a type of person. So if you have an employee object, it can do all the things that a person could also do. I think it's funny because people teach object-oriented programming and spend a ton of time on inheritance and that kind of stuff. And so people come out of those programs and make ridiculously complicated inheritance structures and end up with code that's all coupled together but split across multiple files, so you can't easily like understand what it's doing. So anyways, interfaces are generally better when all you're trying to do is make sure that this thing can do something specific. And that's my problem. I need my bits of the phone UI to be able to highlight something and to be able to show a message. So I'm going to add these interfaces for something that can highlight and something that can show a message. And then the tutorial controller is going to invoke those functions. So the tutorial controller doesn't need to know whether it's got a shop or a level picker or a signature screen. It just knows I've got a thing that I can tell it to highlight, and I've got a thing I can tell it to show a message. So that's what's going on the right side of this diagram. The tutorial controller will be able to reference these different, the controllers that back all of these little phone screens and just say, set this message when you advance the tutorial stage, highlight this object when you advance this tutorial stage, and then the relationship between the shop controller and its good friend, the shop view. So the view is the UI, the controller is the logic. And so through that system, the message will make its way onto the screen and in a way you can see it. And through that system, the highlighted object will make its way onto the screen so you can see it. And
Hey, Will?
Yes.
You got a question?
Yeah, I saw some conversation with Joe there.
No,
but we're talking about Badger's one.
Yeah.
Phone needs to query other programs instead of being the overarching program itself, seeing if I understand. Phone needs to query. Yeah, so replace systems. Controllers are basically systems. And the way we build our app, every controller can be accessed by any other controller or any other bit of code that needs it. People talk a lot about keeping components separate in software, but games are always, by design, a bunch of interlocking pieces that turn and work each other in cool ways. And you can get into like a really messy situation if you're not disciplined about that. So dependency injection is my preferred way to deal with that. So the phone controller over here doesn't actually have a lot of bits that it directly depends on, but other systems can go say, hey, phone, I need you to make sure this shop is now available. You can get into a circular dependency if you have, say, the shop system trying to go look up the phone controller and do some stuff, and you also have the phone controller trying to go talk to the shop system. So that's kind of one of the perils of a crazy dependency injection system where everything is a singleton and everything can kind of find everything else. And actually, that's kind of why I make these diagrams like this. This is, for example, the item controller is at the bottom of this whole pyramid because everything needs to be able to talk to it. So therefore, it kind of can't talk to anything else without causing that loop. So the phone is a lot like that. The phone is just a place for the phone UI and other systems to kind of control what content is available.
Baller.
Yeah, so going back to Badger's question, the phone needs to query other programs instead of being the overarching program itself. See if I understand. Yeah, like Ruft is if Cruft were a Lego model, each of these controllers is one of the Lego bricks,
Mm.
and they all kind of lock together in a fun way. I'm kind of ignoring the other stuff, the view thing, the sprites, the data that it reads. Most of the game happens in the controller code.
The controller is the thing that generally does. It's like the gears. The model is like anything semi-static that is just like, hey, here's how it's the D&D stat sheet. The controllers are like the die rolls, and the view is your imagination.
Yeah, the view is all the stuff that actually happens on the screen, and you can end up with like a really complicated program if you have making sure the screen looks proper mixed in with all the actual logic of querying an item database. We try to keep that stuff separate.
A good example of this, and I'll probably say it wrong, but still the components are right, and we'll just sort out the details. But we were talking about having like your amount of cash money, like animate and scroll up, behind the scenes, you have sold something through your van. The model is like what the value of that thing was. Like straight out the DB, essentially, of like, hey, I sold a Blingo for 150 cash money. The view is like, hey, what are we showing to? Oh, the ad manager says ad starting soon. Do I trump it? I'm gonna hit it with a 3-minute ad break. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then we'll come back.
Cool.
Back in a bit. Cliffhanger. Get coffee and run.
Yeah, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Oh.
So Mike's all still being hot. Because who knows what's happening over on YouTube? Like on the YouTube side, it's weird because they're not getting an ad.
I know.
But now I can actually see an ad in progress thing with a number going forward and all that. Are you still seeing an ad?
I'm not.
Okay. Can you see my BS in the corner? Oh, I forgot to actually get my call. Like, can you see that it says ad BRB on the actual stream?
On the actual stream, yeah.
Okay.
I can.
That's a stopgap. I forgot my actual coffee mug. Oh, pre-rolls off for an hour. Sweet. And we are back, but I'm gonna be late. I'll get my coffee in a second. So the point is, before we left, you can subscribe to Dodge these. Yeah, someday. I don't think we're going to be generating that many subs on this, but we'll see what happens.
No.
So that cash money counter going up, it's like something has to control the speed at which that that change happens. That would be the controller. The model would like input how much cash money you're making, and the view would be the thing like, here's how we show it. I'm going to make it throb. I'm going to make it go like this fast. I guess the controller probably doesn't care about the transition animation at all. It's just responsible for holding what the actual number under the hood is. Is that right? Is that close?
Yeah, I'll clarify a couple points along the way. So in the case of your cash money, there's actually a file that we write down on your computer that has the number of cash money you have. That's the model. That's the data layer. Z works in a bunch of spreadsheets that get transformed into data about the game. It says what recipes make what items. Those are the models. And the controller's job is to kind of be the middleman between the data layer and what you see on the screen. And so in the case of the cash money, there's a file that says how much cash money you have on your disk. The controller knows how to read that file, and it affords other systems. It has functions for changing that amount, and then it'll go and handle writing that back to disk. And when the amount changes, it'll send up a notification to the view layer saying, "Hey, this number is different. You've got to update it." That's mostly what you said.
Yeah, it's, a lot of times I mostly say the right thing, and then there's some weird spots that would get you into trouble if you actually try to apply it.
Yeah. So here in sort of my refactor back of napkin diagram plan, I've talked about how the tutorial controller now needs to be able to set and highlight objects. It's allowed to go say like, "Hey, give me the shop controller."
It doesn't say please?
No.
Savage.
No. Yeah.
Hey, give me the controller.
The shop controller is going to have these events now for when, because this is kind of what I was talking about with the cash money example. You don't really want to be tangled up in your views. The views just care when an event happens that it needs to update how it looks. So oftentimes you'll see a function to do something on the controller and then an associated event that will fire off. So for example, the shop view will be looking to see if the controller's message is changed. And if it does, it'll update that text. Same thing with the highlight. If we change what object is supposed to be highlighted in the shop, this will have been looking for this event to fire off and then know what function to do. So now the tutorial controller doesn't need to know anything about how to highlight an item in the shop. That's entirely the shop view's concern. And it accomplishes this via this sort of convoluted event system, but it's much easier to maintain. So, okay, I talked a little bit about what we're doing to accomplish the message in the highlighting view, but what else? There's a whole bunch of other diagramming I did over here. Why am I doing all this other work? This is back into the problem of the hierarchy that I talked about. Right now, the phone is kind of constructed, six times one way and half a dozen ways another way, and that's not helping me when it comes to finding the right elements in the system. And really all that the phone cares about, it doesn't really care that the shop or the level picker, it doesn't care that the shop is a shop. It doesn't care that the level picker is a level picker. It just cares that this is a screen and it needs to know how to show and hide them. So the phone screen interface is my proposed solution for that. Again, we're adding a capability to an existing system, in this case, these view modules. And they're basically going to fulfill a contract. It's going to say, to be a phone screen, you need to have a function for showing yourself and hiding yourself. And that way, the phone view and the phone controller, they don't need to know anything about how any of these screens want to appear, it just says, look, I'm going to call this function when it's time for you to go online, and you figure it out. And that way, all the logic about displaying the level picker, all the logic for displaying the signature is in the corresponding code, and nothing else needs to know about it. And that makes it easier to change that stuff because I can just change it in that one space, and nothing else in the program will fall out of whack. Yeah. That's what I think I have to do. How does that sound?
It makes all good sense to me. Like I've never been used to like this exact way of describing it, like being used, but like to me, it's a much clearer way of doing the breakdown so that everything stays organized in a way where you can change stuff without flipping the whole thing on its head. And when you do start programming early on, like a lot of times you will struggle with what parts need to be in this class versus that class versus whatever. And like this is a mental framework, organizes that a lot better. I am going to give a little warning because I'm about to crack Unity open in the background. And if it explodes my machine and I blue screen again, we'll be back in a couple minutes. But I'm being extra like ginger now. Be like, well, the last time I just looked at the Discord for a second and it blue screened.
You know, I think I am actually noticing something that I could do differently. I have my phone interface talk about highlighting and updating messaging texts, but maybe I use the same highlighter interface for these phone screens. Maybe that's a little bit duplication that I can get rid of.
Sweet. Is it common to drop in, like, create a flow like this, and then get down to business and go back and change the flow?
Oh, it's the rule rather than like an exception. I mean, maybe I've said before stuff like no plan survives contact with the enemy, and like plans are useless, but planning is essential. I think this is all that.
I'm
this
not
is
sure
all
I've
that.
ever heard that one.
I love that one. I think it's like, you know, some president from the early 1900s, but it's a really good one because, like, ultimately I'm going to finish the job, solve the problem, and move on, and I will never look at this diagram again. And what I end up doing will probably not be exactly what this diagram describes, but I will be able to start fixing it because I went through this process.
Yes.
That's how the plan is essential, but also useless.
Well, so it is measure twice, cut once, but it's really like, you know, it's actually measure once, cut a few times, remeasure, but at the end of the day, it's an outline. You're just organizing visually how you plan to address a complex problem, how you plan to. And, you know, this kind of chart, if we were selling our engine, which like 20 years ago, everyone who made a game anywhere was like, here's the, you know, the butt engine that we used to make this one game. One of the biggest things they ran into was actually going back and documenting everything, how it actually worked. You know, at WB Boston used to be Turbine, had the turbine engine. Like, hey, do you want an out-of-the-box solution for making an MMO? And there was no one.
It's a lot.
Except for maybe a couple people that were like high on spice that thought you could just buy the turbine engine and make a game with it. Like the amount of, you know, for this chart to be right, you have to go back and then like finalize it and then do that between a bunch of releases. It's like making a brand new product. Now, if you are Epic and you've built an engine that is a platform for stuff, the amount of people that probably update these charts for Epic, you know, working with, you know, Unreal is probably like, I don't know, I would guess there's at least 50 people that spend a decent, you know, reasonable chunk of their lives updating charts like this because someone else is going to actually use it. The point here is to like plan your attack And then
there's so much documentation work out there, and it's really important to understand who the audience is for a given document. And in this case, the audience for this document is me.
yep.
Just me.
I think Joe wonderfully summed it up where, you know, it's about it's checking yourself to make sure you understand the actual needs
Mm-hmm.
and the entirety of the problem. Pretty sweet.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to get started on this. The other thing that this does is it makes me excited to work on it because I'm like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to feel proficient at my job.
It's and the same is true of like game design, like going through and writing out all these little cards. It's the same thing. Like all these little cards with what Chivos are going to have on them is really fun. When I write something on one of those cards, I know for a fact that like some of them going to be different. And if you're on a large team, even a small team, a lot of times you do have to go back to that stuff and update it because and the same would be true of this flow. If you were working with 4 other engineers, you'd be like, oh, and when I finished, I'd take the step of going back, going, this is how it works today. But it is.
Otherwise, the server guy would be like, what happened to the set message function?
And you're like, I don't use that.
Yeah.
Why is it in the chart?
And then your producer would be very upset with all of you.
Yeah. So this is why we don't have a producer. There's no one to get upset at us for how we do things, which is pretty rad.
Well, I'm hoping we can survive without a producer because we are doing a lot of that work.
We are
in this meeting.
We do actually, yeah, a lot of that work. I mean, you know, prioritization, going over charts like this so that we both understand. I mean, some of it is to like inform the viewer, but some of it is like just for our own edification, where we're like both present and able to just go through it. And like the moment you just had, you're like, maybe I'll do that differently.
Yep.
The very act of writing and reading something hits different pathways through your brain. 100% true.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the new perspective trick.
Yep, you catch yourself on it, which is good. Like part of the reason I still write a bunch of stuff out by hand is that even beyond typing, writing stuff by hand does capture parts of the brain that otherwise wouldn't get hit. It's a lot easier for me to remember. Not just remember, it's not just memory. It's a lot easier for me to process things that I've handwritten down than it is for me to do so typing. And some of that is just years of like typing so many things. But yeah, like making little cards with Chivos on it, when you are actually going to like, when you know you're going to make it, it's a heck of a lot of fun because then you really start thinking about the game. Like, oh, I made these little cards. Like, if this was a board game, like there would be a stack of these, and I'd draw 3 of them, and there'd be the things I'm trying to get. That's right. Officially announced Cruft board game. Sweet. Competitive.
Snap.
Not the worst idea. You understand that, Will? Like we can like publish board games now. I know. Can't do everything.
I would love to.
Yeah. Something to think about. When we get a little bit of cash in the bank and like we're not worried about feeding or insuring our families anymore, then stuff like that can be like side project that gets cooked up. But like a Cruft board game, not that I'm going to go into. I'll give myself like 3 minutes. A Cruft board game. I would like early access copy to paint the minis, please. Absolutely, Patrick. Where you have this board and there's stuff magnetized stuck to it, and when you do something, you just throw Cruft on the board and it sticks where it sticks. And then the next person's turn, they do something. Pretty tight. Neat mechanic. Anyway, what else do we have on this agenda?
I think it's playtesting time, unless I overlooked something.
Factor, viewed priority to this. Yeah, test the game. All right. So I'm going to now, once again, warn people that I'm going to crack this game over. My computer's been acting really stupid. I don't think. I I don't think we're gonna actually get audio from the game, but if someone could double check that, that'd be good. And as haphazard as it looks, I think on the stream, the game is showing, I'm showing, Will's showing this little tiny corner of the call.
Should I stop sharing my screen?
No, because this is the only thing keeping you in the corner.
Okay,
Otherwise your head would be hidden behind the game.
sounds good.
Let's see, scoot that over there. I'm gonna do a new game.
I gotta move the stream to my main monitor just so I can see it. I'm probably gonna be like some number of seconds behind you, though.
It's all good. All right. I am gonna kill the music because I don't think it's going all the way through. All right. So the bug we didn't run into, a friend of ours ran into, is that the very first thing they did playing the game. I want to see the blissful badger paint job for the van. That's a great idea. I'm already changing the color to blue. It's gonna make it's gonna be blue on the screen. It's wild. Is that what they did right out the gate? Was they just picked, hey, I'm gonna craft this thing, rather than pulling the hammer out. What crafting does is it pulls the objects you need out of the van.
Oh,
Yeah. So then they couldn't do the step of take the hammer out of the van. Isn't that awesome? Like on the eve of battle, having someone play the game and running to a step one.
a step one derailment.
Yeah.
What do we do about?
Oh, you could actually just drive it to market too.
Oh, does it have a cost now?
Yeah, it does.
Brutal.
Ugh. Ugh. Underlying things change everything. They're never done. All right, drag this stuff over
There
here.
is a better way to handle the jettison out of the back of the van, but I don't know what it is right
Not for the next 6 months. Buy all
Fair.
Tim's stuff. Hey, what's up, Tim? Oh, thanks for the message that the list is empty. It's some of the clearest text we have, and it's super tiny, and its list is empty. So good. This job. Have a cow. Sure, I'll have a cow.
Speaking of engine documentation, I wonder where in the documentation they talk about list is empty.
It's true. It's curious, to say the least. All right, so we'll wait till this thing does spit out a cow. If you think you're tired of seeing me play the tutorial, imagine how tired I am. Actually, not. It's not that bad. I will say this, relative to like a lot of other games I've worked on, the tutorial is relatively light. It doesn't take a huge amount of time, and it's not like a mobile tutorial where like we are forcing you to do some stuff in order, but it's not like the screen goes black except for this one little circle around the cow, and it's like it's not a game, it's not a game, it's not a game. I'm just dragging you by your what do they call it, your beast of burden yoke forwards through this thing until you actually play the game. Like you are playing the game,
shoving you into a Skinner box.
Yeah. Like you are actually playing the game while you do it. So this is the thing I was talking about earlier. I've got a gate butter behind.
Yeah.
The Chivo. Do that in the morning. Peace out and drive to the market. TikTok. Wonder where I'll go next. Yeah, Tim, you're getting rich off this game.
Maybe we just remove the whole hammer is in the van thing, because it's actually the source of another bug where you can't replay the tutorial level if you punch in the code for it, because you will have saved van items and therefore you won't get a hammer, and then you cannot drag it out of the van.
How do we teach the player to go into the van? Because that's the only reason the hammer's in the van.
We can still have you do that.
Just say go into the van for no reason.
I see what you're saying, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Keep
was.
working on it. Let's keep working on it.
Yeah, let's keep chewing on it. That's the only reason that we had stuff in the van to start was we wanted you getting very, very familiar quickly with the fact that the
The
van
whole
is
the whole flow is like a puzzle where the goal is to prevent you from doing something that's like not the thing we're trying to teach you at that moment.
the whole flow is like a shitty puzzle. In
Yeah.
quotes, will
No, there's some
20
editorializing there.
2025
I don't think.
6
I
slash
mean,
9 slash 2025.
I this is going to sound like a broken record to you because I bring this up a million times, but for the benefit of Badger and our friends, that I love a good tutorial because you don't see it. You don't think you're
Yep.
in a tutorial. You just think you're learning. And maybe you don't even think that. Like learning is actually fun, but as soon as you label it learning, people go, ah. um,
Okay.
and that's what I would love to be able to do here.
Open your phone. Check the Realtor app. All right. I hit let's go on that. I'll get this Chivo. Hereby certify that I've loaded my van with my magnet.
If you do that, it'll.
You know the hammer's glowing right now, right?
Yeah, that's a copy paste bug.
Is
Drag
it?
the hammer into the van. See if a pop up shows up.
What do you mean see if a pop up shows up?
We did that. It didn't show up. Cool.
I don't understand. I did just drag it in there.
Yeah, I've got some stuff locally that I didn't check in that I forgot to check in.
Okay, well, like, what is it? Good stuff?
No, I was just expecting you dragging something into the van to trigger a pop up message that said that the tutorial's over.
Oh, oh, that thing should be the magnet.
Yeah,
Right?
no, it's
Yeah, okay.
supposed to be the magnet.
Okay.
I hope it doesn't actually say that you were in a tutorial though. That's another. Don't say it's a tutorial. That's not fun.
Just call it like it is. I don't. Maybe I do want to make pizzas. Maybe I do. It's the quickest way for me to be able to do that. I'll just. Why buy the cow when you can jam the thing in the back of the vehicle for free? 3 spaces left. Go. Grab my precious magnet and go grab some feed. Poop would have been another potential choice. Certify that I've loaded my van with everything I need. No, really. Keep this van.
Should we go back to preventing you from auto crafting van items?
When you mean crafting things that are presently in the van?
Yeah, auto crafting is kind of the wrong word. Right now, when you craft something, it'll prefer items in the current location, and if they're not there, it'll look in other locations.
And you're saying blacklist the van?
I'm pretty sure I even plumbed in an option to blacklist the van when
you should
when
blacklist
that
and that fixes that hammer issue entirely.
That fixes the whole hammer issue. I mean, it does. It feels a little bit like changing the whole game to suit this one moment, but it is an important moment.
We don't actually. I don't think you. You know what? I don't actually think you should be able to craft stuff that's in the van. That sounds like a smart safety thing.
All right.
All right, here we go. Got $100. Call it 110.
My map.
Look in here. I got my Chivo app. The magnet. Tim's Trust Chivo's not in here. That's good. The flow to get here was pretty solid. Hide this down here. Put my cow up here. Start making milk right out the gate. It's a good feeling. Leave this right by the van. My new setup. Boink. Feed situation there. And oh yeah. That's odd. I don't have. I still don't have any other folks but Tim. Yeah. Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but Tim. It's all Tim all the time.
Are you playing in Unity?
I am playing in Unity.
Got any log activity?
Log action. Yeah, I probably do. Let's see.
Whoa, your corrupt download corrupts 69%. This is a joke. I want to learn more about that, Auditor, because you mean Steam, like downloading the latest version? While I wait for that response. You said no errors? See?
I'm gonna kill this thing.
Yeah, take screenshots and drop them in the Discord because I'll lose the info
Well,
here in
there is
Twitch chat.
yes, absolutely no, absolutely. Blah 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 blah. Make sure your screen's good. Are you? Oh, what do you? You're now gonna have meeting stuff in the background. Yeah.
I was about to say, are you
Yeah.
dropping?
I am dropping the game. I had
I should be able to.
console had nothing in it, but you want me to just send you the player log? My player log's not.
Yeah, send me the player log.
Which one is it? Which magic number? It's the. I don't need to.
9060, I
No,
think.
don't say that.
I didn't say the whole number.
I know.
It's not secret information either. It's like it's in the store page.
I mean, neither is the link address of our of our meeting, but I don't have. Yeah, but the player log goes above that, right?
Yeah, it actually does. You shouldn't need to.
It didn't make a player log of it.
Oh, because you're playing in Unity, right?
Oh.
Oh, look, mine.
That's right.
Are you on the correct Steam account?
Look at all this stuff we're finding.
Because I'm not.
When you say you, are you talking to me or Auditor or anyone else?
I'm not talking to Auditor. I'm assuming he's on his Steam account.
I'm
talking to you and me because I am on the wrong Steam account.
I'm on the right one.
Yeah, I'm just gonna turn off screen for a quick sec while I switch that. Oh my. Oh my.
Infinity loop.
Infinite loop, yeah. Okay, turn this off. Stop presenting. Something else that's annoying is that my Steam client is not rendering properly.
Very curious. So I wasn't getting the XP, but that was based on connection with Steam. But I think I already said this. Now we're like all concentrated up.
Yeah, no. It's fire drill time again.
I don't know. Yep. Nada.
Yeah, so your player log won't show up if you're playing in Unity because it's just going to the console there. Might be another reason why we want to log more about your achievement information sooner, because we kind of want to see, like, do you have these? Do you even have the achievement? Is that part of the problem, or is it unlocking? Unlocking the results of the achievement. Okay, so it says I'll get this Chivo here.
Mind you, I'm on a Windows 8.1 machine that should not be running Steam at all.
You, sir, are out of the support period. You need to do something about that.
Oh, you know what? I never got a nicely done message.
Yeah, that was the thing that I was saying that I have locally that you probably don't.
Oh, okay.
Eight 8.1. Does it still have compatibility? Well, you might be able to get the game to run by using some compatibility mode options. I know older versions of Windows had something like that that kind of worked. But if your computer doesn't support Steam and you're having problems during the download, there's nothing we can do to help you with that.
Don't make me wait, Will.
Sorry, I was just
open the damn phone.
Thinking about Auditor's World of Tanks.
There's no way we have any control over downloads. Oh, your stuff works.
Yeah, mine's all right.
Is your stuff pushed?
I can just do that. I mean, that sounds like an easy fix.
It does.
This is a.
And I do desperately want to play this game.
What do you call a problem that mysteriously fixes itself?
Incidental.
Solved.
Zing.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of Jesus. I have a lot of changes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though, Auditor. I don't believe it's Cruft. It's that you're having an issue with downloading. Like we do nothing. That's a black box to us.
Yeah, Cruft might work fine for you. You might want to completely uninstall Cruft and delete any of the data, and then queue up the download.
Email Gaben.
You will possibly lose your old save file, but you needed to start a new game to get new content anyways.
I mean, I guess there's the possibility that something we've done between an ancient build and this one had a weird conflict. I mean, the game's up on the...
That still wouldn't be our problem.
Yeah, because all it is going to do is overwrite the directory, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Heave. Heave. You check that thing in yet?
Almost.
Sweet. Coding under pressure.
Pull now. See if that fixes it.
That was an ad starting soon.
What probably broke for you was the part of the tutorial controller that identifies that you are done with the tutorial and advertises that to other systems that might have some poorly architected logic, because it should be the other way around.
Just moving our little ad camera thing around a little bit. We are in an ad, by the way.
Jeez. Ad City.
It is very hard for me to play the game and
VJ
also. And DJ. All right, so let me know when that stuff is pullable.
It's pullable now.
It's pullable now. Sweet. So I think it auto shows like 1 minute or 90-minute ads. What I want to do. Hey, it's not at the worst place. Not at the worst place. I just really need an indicator that's very clear when it goes down. Once more with feeling. Fact. This is a very good reason to get another monitor. I kid.
You have a few. You know, you don't have those. One of these little guys.
I mean, I have a larger version of that little guy. All right, I think we are back.
We're back. We think
All right,
we're back from Ad City.
Indeed, I'm going to see. Let's see.
I'll type out the path for you, auditor, to Cruft's files.
I was in Unity, focused. One of these, DJ it over again to game capture. I don't know why it's mega small. Kill it. Oh, it's because it's on play focus. Cease and desist, Unity.
I wonder if 8.1 uses a different location, but that's a real fun question that I'm not going to let distract me yet.
All right, so new game. All right, speed run this thing. Hammer out of here. Bam. It's a chill game with chill vibes. Take our time. Pre-cooking the cruft dump. Oh yeah, buy all Tim's stuff. Bye. Cow. The ads are pretty. Come on now. You can do it. We have a cow. We milk the cow. Man, I hope this works. This is gonna be very like meh. If it don't, but that's life. I do just want to get a build out so people can play it though. That's reasonable.
I'm glad. I hope it made you smile. I had to keep a poker face while I was waiting for your reply.
Those are funny moments where you're just like, doo, 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 doo. Poker face is very important. I use the mixture to the milk and cheese. Oh, if we could just.
Oh, no, I don't have to unshare my screen, but I do have to tune back into the stream.
Let's stream. I think in the background, once again, like try to move some windows around, see if I can DJ this BS at the same time. Put that over everything. Then hopefully it'll screen. Oh, it says ad starts in 12 minutes now that I have that screen. Let's see. Use mixture to turn milk and cheese. Yeah, I got it. Got some mozzarella. Tim. How many things have I bought from Tim in my entire life? So many things.
Twice the tutorial testing today.
Twice. Wheat and flour. The main thing we want is to get to this new yard and have the people show up. Have the contacts be there. If we do that, we are, I don't know. I guess golden is the term.
We're unblocked.
We're unblocked. I still.
I do want to get a new build out, but we probably have to make sure the tutorial is like totally borked the way it is.
Yeah, I think there's just going to be a delay on it. Like, my confidence in the testing under duress. Like there's only basically a half hour left of this stream, so confidence in it is not high. Because I want to test stuff that even goes beyond.
That's fair.
Thunderdome.
Breaking the tutorial is a great way to reduce confidence in ability.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of good stuff in here right now. I still have to put together the build notes and all that crap too. So. I think like it's pretty practical to like do testing in here, and then still have like it's going to be always be a challenge unless I'm already confident the build works. So like just do a quick test on the stream, then send it. I mean, it'll be a little. It's a little bold. All right, open your phone, check out the Realtor app. I did that. What's up? What you got for me, Realtor? Go in here. Let's go. I pack up my stuff.
You gotta drag the magnet.
I don't have to have you tell me because it's highlighted properly now, Will. It's perfect. It was shining right. What? And a message? Nicely done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know how to craft the basics. There's so much more to craft. Sign the realtor's paperwork to move to a new yard. Bring items in the van with you.
Should we make that the canonical way to say and write yard?
Yard?
Yard.
Good question. Like
I'm having like a bit of a not a crisis, but
yeah, it's a complete
an internal
apart,
conflict between calling them levels and yards.
It is an internal conflict.
Any guidance you might want to.
You're a mess, Will. Pull yourself together.
Pull yourself together. That's always good guidance.
I'm having a great deal of internal conflict. I love how this thing is grayed out for my safety.
Oh yeah.
All right. Oh, that's the thing I don't have. Do I want $10? I do want $10. 10 cash money. Yeah, you're going in there.
That looks legit.
That does look legit. It says a well-packed van. All right. I hereby certify that I've loaded the van with everything I want to take with me to the next yard. No, really, everything I want to keep is in the van right now? Yeah. Sign. Auditor, what does it did mean? I missed the context on that.
Oh, I was joking with him. That is what his username might be.
I got no peeps. No one here, Will.
What the hell?
Yeah, what the hell indeed.
Damn it. All right. Can you bring up the console window just like here on the stream?
Can bring up the console window on the stream. I would have to duck out of this, right? In order to do that, or
are you in Unity?
I am in Unity.
Yeah, just drag it over on top of the. I don't know. I guess I don't know how you have OBS set up.
No, what I'm saying is that I'm playing maximized and it's not sitting down here. Can I just crack one of these things open here? How do you pop that window?
When you say here, I don't really see what you're referring to.
With the game maximized, how do I bring the console up so that I can see it?
You'll have to unmaximize the game, I guess.
I feel like one of these things down here does that. Back on task now. I felt like there was a way to just force it open. All right, maybe I'm wrong. All right, so do you want me to hit? Do you want me to stop it? Start it.
You don't even have to stop playing. You can just those 3 dots in the top right.
Oh, that's the button that does it.
Oh.
You want the console? There's your console.
Oh, we've got infinite stream.
We do. Why are you? Oh, it's not showing the game anymore for me, right? Yeah.
No.
Please make that window not be that. You want to horrify.
This is how we blue screen you.
It's certainly possible. Yeah, it does not work that way. All right.
I should be able to repro this problem.
You should remove that the stream from there. Thank you. Yeah. If I
Oh, this is me. This is because it was my screen.
Yes.
Now I get what
I
was
know you made everyone nice and nauseous.
happening.
Oh, it's because it
All
was
right.
paused. So it pauses the game when you unmaximize it. When you pause the game, the OBS doesn't pick it up anymore. So I can stop it,
Oh, that's annoying.
unmaximize it, play focused, hit play again, and now game capture. Oh, it's because it's on game capture, not that window. Yeah, you're gonna have to repro it on your side, I think. That said, I'm gonna go in. We'll hit continue. This should still happen, I think. If I just peace out and go somewhere else, we'll see. I'm out. I'm out. I also got to figure out what the next build's going to be called because it ain't Chivo. Got to drop new stuff out of the van. Hey, and everyone's here. Oh, this could be me. There's a possibility this is me.
Willing to entertain that possibility.
Yeah, it'd be convenient. If it was me, then it's just a DB, fat fingered DB issue.
Oh yeah, that would check out because I don't have the bug. You do you have uncommitted changes?
But what? I don't. But no, it is not that. I was
Oh,
wondering if on this map.
I had to pull before I could push up what I thought would have fixed it. So now I might actually repro it.
Yeah. So now
wrong button.
I thought maybe on the yard I hadn't put the right people in. So I'm gonna kill this. We're gonna be on your screen, and we're gonna let you fix it.
I'm just gonna try and repro it again. We got third trip through the tutorial.
They're gonna start an ad in 3 minutes and 55 seconds. You know what? I'm gonna hit the snooze button.
Cool.
Oh, it only snoozes for 5 minutes. That's garbage. All right, no,
That is garbage.
I mean, 5 minutes isn't enough for you to prep something. Be in a position where you can actually do it. How bizarre.
That path auditor is probably to like the game install files, not to the saved data for your progress. Yeah, if you search for a folder named Cruft, that should probably reveal it. Or go on entertainment with spaces. I know that Windows' ability to search itself for files is laughable, but
Yeah. So yeah, I just laughed at it.
it is, isn't it? Isn't it baffling that like there's like no.
Like I'm just looking for a thing. It used to be pretty standard.
Just look through folders for things with this name. Why is this so hard? Why does this take you 30 business days?
All right, so if you peace out, there's no one in the next spot. I did get a warning. Chivo controller attempted to award a Chivo that was already awarded.
That I know about. That sadly is not. That's not new. It doesn't mean it's not the cause of the problem, though. I guess. This is one of the, this is that. There's an item that in the list we just went over about that.
Sweet. I'm gonna be extra diligent about when this sneaky little ad wants to show up. Stay on target, Will. Stay on target.
I keep getting distracted by.
You got this.
Things.
The game does not go faster. It's like funny because you're like, all right, I'm gonna speed run this, and it's like, why don't you just sit back and chill for 20 seconds while I make some mozzarella, buddy?
Yeah.
Just check yourself. This stuff takes time.
I showed the game to some family who were over for the previously discussed
Leaks?
pulled pork.
Yeah.
Yeah, leaks. They all NDA'd though, and one of the feedback I got was, I don't like that I have to wait for the timer, but I respect it.
Nice. I don't like the fact you ain't buying Tim's stuff. What is going on here?
Sorry.
Nice.
I told you I keep getting distracted.
Dude, you're streaming a game. You gotta be like locked in.
I have to have like really big reactions too. I gotta have like
yes, crazy reactions.
Yeah.
In fact, we should do a reactions video. Just Will's reactions to his own game. If I was still making,
I feel like most of my faces are like concerned,
it'd actually be
stressful looking faces when really that's not me.
Legit reactions instead of someone green screened, like two guys sitting on a couch going, oh, every time. Oh. I legit thought about on my my silly Warhammer YouTube channel going back a year after. It's dope, but going back and doing a react video of my own dumb videos on April 1st, where I'm just sitting in the corner watching. When I say dumb videos, because like I was just super new, and they're cut all weird, and the audio's weird on them. Just going back and be like, oh, yeah, we'll shake his whole desk with that reaction. Indeed, devs react to Badger playing Cruft. No, maybe we'll do that at some point. We just like face in hands. Why is he doing it this way? All right, moment of truth. TG.
TG? Is that another
Tech Goon? What your signature says.
I don't.
Yeah, that's good though. I
don't have the other characters.
Yeah, you reproed it. That's awesome.
So you don't think it's a data thing that you changed?
I don't think, because I thought if it was a data thing, it would have been attached to this level, and so I left and came back to another level, and it unhosed itself. So if you pack up and leave again, it should then unhose itself.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Some skimming logs.
All right, we're gonna get hit with an ad no matter what.
All right, let me skim logs.
So I'm gonna push this button while you do that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Pre-roll ads disabled for 62 minutes. Next auto ad is reduced by 1 minute 30 seconds. Okay, this is pretty sweet. We're making things work. I will say this: having the little ad sign up while you're like intently looking at errors is pretty sweet.
I wish I was looking at errors. I think what I need to do is just add that logging now.
You're looking at it all clear.
What do you mean?
There's no errors. It's all clear.
Oh yeah. I'm looking at a bunch of just nothing's wrong here messages.
Good times. Dope rhymes.
Dope rhymes.
I genuinely like the fact Just like how amazingly like I won't say real this is, but like, all right, let's see if we can get it build on Steam. It's like, no, you can't right now.
Right.
You can't. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. That's like how real life works. But like
Not today.
there is no
Bucko.
exactly.
I am looking for Chivo system.
Right,
Here it is.
Oh, I can edit this thing. All right, let me change the screen back. I can do that. Yeah, it's real.
This is what we want to log. Oop. Autocomplete, you're not helping me.
Yeah, I will have to work with this stuff a little bit and figure it out. Now, the first stream after hitting affiliate is a doozy. At least I got some emojis and some goodie bag prizes in, but it's not hard to manage. It's just we haven't found anything yet. Not yet.
Is that going to work? Can I just do that? Oh, come on. That's not how join works in this. No, sorry.
In this nightmare hellscape that is game development.
I could have sworn you could just join by a character, but now I'm going to look it up. What is completed Chivos? Yeah, an array. You can't just join an array.
Not with that attitude, you can't.
I guess not. I mean, look at this function signature.
Yeah,
is that the most unreadable?
I mean, especially over a stream on a small screen, it's perfect.
Yeah, like this is supposed to just have one parameter, but there's a way more words than one parameter.
Try again.
Hold please while I search the internet for the right way to write code.
I think there's the possibility of that, Badger, in terms of like ad setup and stuff, but you gotta be a little flexible with it. But with the snooze button it might work. It is funny because this is also just like going straight over to YouTube at the same time. Like, what the heck are you talking about? Listening to me and Will swear while the ads running.
All right. All I've done, and
this
is a great thing to do if you have a bug in your game, is add a log statement to the thing that you're expecting to be true, but maybe isn't true.
And see if it even just trips it.
See if it even, see if it matches what you expect. So I put in the Chivo controller, I put a line that will log all the achievements I have, because I'm expecting it to say that I have the magnet Chivo, and that'll tell me if the problem is whether I'm getting the Chivo properly or if it's something to do with the rewards. Continue.
Just unleashed a poop celebration. Find your lack of enthusiasm for the poop celebration to be a little bit taking the wind out of my sails.
Sorry, I was supposed to go, oh!
Will reacts to poop celebration. You just sounded like a kabuki samurai. Whoop! Hop!
Hop! Yeah, I like that. That's good. Okay, what was I doing? I didn't see my log message at all, so that's something.
So you just didn't hit it. Whoop!
Oh no, I'm just goofy. There we go. I was only going to log it if you actually.
We
try to get your completed Chivo list.
It doesn't use the animated ones. Interesting.
And if it didn't log, then maybe we didn't have any completed Chivo. So maybe it is a problem with the Chivo tracking. Let's try that again. Does that show up?
Yeah, it does.
Like on the stream?
Yeah.
Cool. That's definitely why I was stone faced through the whole thing, because I don't see any of that.
What you mean is because you're doing your flipping job while your business partner plays with emojis. It's actually what that translates to.
That is where we're at, isn't it? Okay, continue.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave. We actually have a Discord channel that Will and I are just like in I don't want to say constant communication, but like we both got it up over the course of the day. And there's just like one category that's just shit's broke, and it's the immediate like, hey, I'm trying to do something. Shit's broke. And we're basically in that channel, except just live right now. Hope.
I do have a sword in arm's reach.
Indeed.
Okay. I'm extra confused now because I'm not seeing my log message.
Yeah. Still. Snafu indeed.
Yep. Something's usually broken. Wow, do we just not have any of this thing firing off at all?
Ooh.
Oh, you know what? Maybe it's because of the way I built it. That's how it. There we go. That's you want to know the magic trick to computers is that they're not magic. they
do precisely what you say.
Exactly what you told them to do. And what I told it to do is not create the Chivo system unless something asks for the Chivo system. So I had to open the Chivo app. Oh, and look, I got a little no ref in here. That's fun. Is that my... Oh, no, that's just the menu item thing. I know about that. Okay, so I do have the Chivo Tim's Trust.
Because it's not showing here.
Because I logged it down here. You definitely can't see this because it's...
Right. At the same time, because it does not show up in the list of things you need to still get because we purged the ones you have.
Yeah.
What does Trevor say you're going to get? Oh, he doesn't say crap until you do this.
No, but he does say I will get this. But I think that's just because this doesn't know that.
I thought you already got rid of that.
No, that's still on the roadmap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is the other part. This is the other reason why you just want to get your bugs fixed, because sometimes your bugs start getting together and make more bugs.
It's true. They do replicate. Like Nurgle's definitely in the house when it comes to game bugs.
Yeah. Okay, so I do have Tim's Trust. The next thing to check is, do I have those characters in my list of unlocked characters? So let's do that here.
Quite specifically, we do have a bug where affectionately named Trevor, the realtor, he's like, hey, do you want to pack up? He's got like, here are the Chivos you're gonna get. Like Tim's Trust shows up always. Yeah, bugs just lead to more bugs. It's a vicious cycle.
I wonder if we're getting in here. This is probably the next place to.
When you say getting in here,
I wonder if this code is executing.
All right, so how many minutes of video ads do you want to show per hour? 5 minutes, which means 2 of them at 2.5. You can crank it up to 22 minutes and 30 seconds of ads per hour.
Oh, Jeff.
Just in case you were wondering. I'd like to run a 22 and a half minute ad break.
Okay, so the system knows that. I wonder if this just never worked and we're now like actually testing it. No, we've seen it work.
No, I've played the game and left the tutorial and kept playing before.
All right, so it's saying that Maury, Karen, and Bill are the three characters that could be locked.
Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Hold up. So, what I did do, why would they be locked? Did you hard code them in or no?
No.
Okay.
I go through every Chivo and I then go through every Chivo's rewards.
Oh.
And wherever the reward type is character, I add that character to my list. That's how I discover if a character could be locked. And then I compare that to what you have unlocked before we decide whether to show it.
So if I go to Tim's Trust, I have removed those characters from being locked by Tim's Trust. And you are still showing them as being locked by Tim's Trust?
I don't know that they're locked by Tim's Trust, but some Chivo says that they are an unlock reward.
And what I'm saying is
this still doesn't quite check out because I would expect to just see the empty silhouette then because the system would say they're locked, you don't have them.
What I'm saying is specifically they were locked by Tim's Trust, and then I got rid of that to clean it up because it wasn't necessary because they were never going to show in the tutorial anyway. Something in here still thinks that they should be in that list of things that potentially should be locked. They do not appear. Let me get Maury. Maury should be locked, but
I do not have any.
Sarah is no longer in that table.
Who did I say I had? Oops.
You're gonna have to say it again. It was at least a minute has passed.
It really has. Maury, Karen, and Bill.
Nope, they should be locked. Nope, sorry. Red herring, not red herring. False positive. Those are the three that get locked by achievements, by Chivos.
Okay.
That list is
okay. So we still don't have a smoking gun, so to speak. Right?
Correct.
So which characters should I see in my game?
When you go to a new level, you should absolutely see Otto, Sarah, the Hard at Work, DPW.
This doesn't sound like a Chivo thing at all.
I don't think it is a Chivo thing. Well, what
it sounds like a level thing, maybe.
So what I was arguing before was that I don't think the game thinks you left the Chivo yet, or left the tutorial yet. Like, click Tim. He's still in his like, my list is empty.
Yeah, he's giving
if you go back now, watch this
stuff.
Oh, I was hoping. Yeah, was he was giving you tutorial like items? Okay. Was he?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those were 100% the tutorial items.
That's what I mean. Is I think the game still might think it's in the tutorial.
Okay.
Red herring, that character from A Pup Named Scooby Doo. No, so Badger, the way it works is that originally we were using the Chivo system so that you wouldn't see Sarah, Otto, Hardware Store, DPW in the tutorial, but that was redundant, and so the actual behavior of the game shouldn't have changed. But we've figured out that wasn't the problem.
Okay, new test. Did the tutorial controller report completion?
Yeah, I bet it did. and it showed up green.
Tutorial controller did not report completion.
Oh.
So yeah, it just says, oh, look, you're still in the tutorial.
The light is green. The trap is clean. Except in this case, it is definitely not clean.
Do you have a permit for that? One of the only movies where the EPA is like the villain.
One of the only movies you've ever seen where the EPA is the villain.
Fair enough.
You truck in certain circles, Will.
Wonder how many steps it thinks there are.
Oh.
I'm afraid that this is. I'm afraid that this is just a function of me kind of working in there right now and it not being totally done. But
it might be.
It's not what I expected would happen.
I mean, basically, the tail end of this would be like, hey, if you were off by 1 and it just didn't have like an extra, it could just.
Oh wait, did I not attach? I did not. I did. We don't even get down here.
Do you have attachment issues, Will?
I don't think so. Turn off. Attach debugger. Oh, this is more of the same stuff.
What a twist.
Oh, I think I know what's happening now.
Oh.
Remember how I said that if no system asks for it, it never runs?
Yeah.
If no system asks for a tutorial controller, this code never runs. None of the stuff happens.
So
it can't say whether or not the tutorial is complete.
So here's where I'm at a loss. Is it because the new scene pops open and it doesn't need a tutorial that therefore it can't be queried? Because the tutorial, here's from a player perspective, I play through the tutorial. So the tutorial's running.
Yep.
Then I leave.
Yep.
And then you're saying that when
I destroy everything. All of these controllers get disposed.
This is so you Thanos this thing.
Yeah.
So you're saying based on your recent changes, one of the things you've done is go, hey, if you don't need it.
Well, no, it's always been that way, but because I'm trying to clean things up and sever connections that don't need to be there, the tutorial controller is one of those things that it needs to reach out and like call other stuff. I don't want every other thing asking for the tutorial controller and operating on it when we're only going to need it in one of your playthroughs. So it should have a lot of dependencies and nothing should depend on it. But in accomplishing that goal, I've made it so that whatever's deciding what characters you get can't tell that you're out of the tutorial. So that's the part that I need to figure out to fix this. But at least now I know what to do. Sweet. I'm pretty sure I know what's wrong and fix it. And hopefully that's a good enough moment to call it there.
I'm going to save us from the ad that was going to go off in 9 seconds because we're leaving anyway. So,
yeah, we're out.
Maybe I'll peace out with a 3-minute ad. And then close it. There's no gain from that. Not like next time it'll save us at all. Yeah, so it does look like the thing does update. If I run 3-minute ads on our own volition, then we'll get an ad about every half hour. A little bit longer than that. That's not that bad.
Is one running now?
No, one's not running now.
Okay.
I hit the snooze button. I'll hit it again. Yeah. I didn't realize that this bar actually.
You found it.
Hey!
That's your data. So that's your save data, and you could try deleting that. I don't think it'll help you download though. You could also copy it off and treat it like, backup if you want.
It's true. It's true. All right. So on a dramatic note, we think we know what the issue is. It sounds pretty
Pretty sure I
plausible.
know what the
Yeah,
issue
yeah.
is. Yeah.
Which is interesting because the understanding of the issue actually stems from some of the architecture flowcharty stuff
Mm-hmm.
of who's talking to who,
Yep.
which gives you better understanding of who's talking to who.
Yeah.
Um,
Up until now, most systems just go get all the other systems, and so they're all there. But the tutorial is one of the ones that's like, yeah, if nobody asks for it, don't make one.
Sweet.
So.
All right. So is it like I don't want to like go deep diving into this because we're actually at time, but is it like you're just gonna have to store off in a special freezer the Tim's Trust Chivo so that it doesn't need to be asked for it? You solve it however you want to solve it. I'm not gonna don't even.
I'm not sure yet what I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the thing that looks up what characters you get should not care about tutorials. It should just care about what you've unlocked and what's in the level. So there's probably just some crufty code that needs to be deleted.
Some crufty code.
Yeah.
That needs to be deleted. On that note, I'm gonna do a little cruft celebration, folks. Thanks a bunch for hanging out.
So good.
We did it. There's still not. Yeah, Badger. Smash that cruft emoji and the poop. But we did figure something out, which is good. I don't know. Tonight, tomorrow, at some point, when the fix goes through, I'll play for a couple hours. Make sure nothing like this pops up again. Try to make sure, and then we'll get a Steam build. When this is fixed and it tests. But it looks pretty good so far. It's just that not unlocking characters is bad. Strangely enough, though, going to another yard, here's the thing you got to solve, Will. When I left and went to another yard, it worked. Not a different yard.
I wonder if I have a race condition then.
Yeah. So keep that in mind.
Fun. All fun stuff. Hopefully we'll get to share a victory next time we stream.
Indeed.
On this front.
And there'll be a Steam build preceding that. Thanks
Yeah.
a ton, folks. We're going to bounce because it's the technically speaking end of our day. See how that flies. But yeah, we will see you again on Thursday. Those of you in the Discord will probably see you again soon. Yeah, Auditor, let us know how that goes in the Discord. Curious, but I'm 99.200% sure that it's probably a Steam thing. But I'm going to be putting a new build up sometime soon anyway, so maybe that'll flesh it out. Maybe there's something weird in there. But anywho, you guys are dope. Thanks for following along with us.
Check your free space. That could be it. Okay.